Hello, hello, and welcome. Welcome to yours and mine, Cozy Corner. My name is Amanda, and on this channel, we talk about books, books, and more books. Well, hello, friends. Hope all is well. Today, we are going to be looking at part 7 of the 5 for 10 or Less series. This is a series where I introduce 5 books that cost no more than $10 from the various Goodwill stores. Now, before we get started, I'm trying to get my energy up a little bit more because it is raining. It is, it's wet. It's just a gloomy day and I need some pump me up. So I do have a cup of coffee over there. Even though I'm not like this big, huge coffee lover, I can drink coffee, but I'm hoping that helps because I don't want to have that in a Red Bull, but I'm going to need something because otherwise I'm just going to sleep the day away, which I suppose isn't a bad thing, but I would like to not sleep today away since I did that yesterday. Okay, guys, so the first book I have here is Those Beyond the Wall by Micah Johnson. All right, this book is in good condition. And most of the books that I get from the Goodwill, they will be in good condition because if they look too bad, too raggedy, or anything like that, I'm not even going to take them home. But like I said before, most of these books look like brand new. This doesn't have too much of a discolor to it. Um, really good condition. So, to my notes. So, this right here is a sci fi fantasy dystopia thriller. I'm not certain if it's YA or not, but this is book 2 in the Space Between Worlds series. Now, it can be read as a standalone. However, you will need to, it expands on the universe that was in the first book. So you will really need to understand what's happening in the first book in order to understand the universe, or for it to maybe make more sense in this particular book. So my suggestion would be to start with book number 1. Now we are facing an upcoming apocalypse. So we have a woman that must reckon with her past to solve a series of sudden, unexplainable deaths. And this lady name is Scale. She is what they call an enforcer. So she keeps the peace, and she keeps the peace specifically in a town called Ashtown. And this is one of the rough climate ravaged desert towns. But that piece gets fractured because right in front of her, a woman is mangled and killed. And the crazy thing about it is that there seems to have been no murderer, even though it happened directly in front of Scales. So when more mutilated bodies start to turn up, both in Ashtown and in the wealthier walled off Wiley City, Scale is tasked with finding the cause and putting an end to it. So she ends up teaming up with the by the book partner, a brilliant scientist, in order to uncover the truth, delving into both worlds to track down this invisible killer. But what they find points to something bigger and more corrupt than they could have ever foreseen, and it could spell doom for the entire world. Now, this sounds like a really good book. I don't really read many sci fi fantasy types of books, but I want to read that. And I also plan, and I know I'm kind of behind on this, but I do plan to read the Hunger Games series this year. So, maybe I get a couple of sci fi books in this year. Okay, guys. So we have book number 2, which is Hard as Nails by Dan Simmons. I'm sorry, Simons. Dan Simons. All right. Really, really good condition. These words are tiny, tiny in this book. But this book apparently comes from Henrico County Public Library. Do we know where that is? we don't. I'll probably be nosy and Google that to see where this book came from, what library, what city that's in. But anywho, this is a mystery crime thriller. This is book number 3 in the Joe Kurtz series, but it can be read as a standalone. And this is actually one of the books that I am going to read for my jellyfish challenge. If you've seen my other video, you probably saw me mention that I am doing 3 book challenges this year. So anyway, we have XPI Joe Kurtz. Survival is on the line when an ambush leaves him badly wounded and his parole officer, Peggy O'Toole, clinging to life. Their respective professions have ensured that neither suffers from a shortage of enemies, so narrowing down the suspect isn't easy. Someone's causing trouble beneath the gray skies of western New York, and it's drawn the notice of the mobs and the cops. Kurtz is caught in the middle along with the rest of them, and no one knows who's tightening the vice. So I don't know what it is, but so for my reading journal, one of the things I keep up with is where like the plot takes place in a book, and it just seems like the setting, I said plot, but the setting of most of my books seem to come from New York or the United Kingdom. And I just think I don't know, that was just a little fun fact. Okay, guys, book number 3. This is Never Let Me Go by, forgive me, Kazu. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to pronounce that. Forgive me. This book, now this one is a little worn, but nothing too bad. I am really going to start to have to get large print books because these words are so freaking tiny in the book. But anyway, like I said, good condition of the book. Forgive me for not being able to pronounce the author's name. But this is a sci-fi dystopia literary fiction. And this is one of the books that I'm reading for, I want to say it's an anti-brain rot challenge, or it could be, I don't know, but I do know it's for one of the challenges that I have. I'm going to read that book. But this is, again, sci-fi dystopia literary fiction. So as children, Kathy, Ruth, and Tommy were students at Hellshane, an exclusive boarding school secluded in the English countryside. It was a place of cliques and mysterious rules, and teachers were constantly reminding their charges of how special they were. So I don't know if they called charges or if I wrote that wrong. I don't know. But anyway, now years later, Kathy is a young woman. Ruth and Tommy have re-entered her life, and for the first time, she's beginning to look back at their shared past and understanding just what it is that makes them special and how that gift will shape the rest of their time together. Now, I forget the name of the YouTuber. I saw her do a review on this book, and this probably was maybe 2 years ago, maybe. I don't know, it's been quite some time. So I had it on my TBR list. I just never got around to it. So when I saw it in the Goodwill, I knew I had to pick it up and that it was finally time for me to read this book. Okay, book number 4. This is Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. And guys, this is a brand new book. It's an absolute brand new book. I'm just not even convinced that this book was cracked open at all. And thank goodness the lettering in here is kind of large. So it'll be a little easier for me to read, but absolute brand new book. So this is a YA contemporary fiction, and it deals with mental health and illness. And this, I believe, I have for one of my reading challenges as well, because on one of them we do have to talk. I believe it's the anti-brain rot challenge, because one of the books have to, it deals with disability, and I want to say the other is mental illness. I could be making that up, but either way, I'm definitely planning to read this book this year. But so we have here, and I hope I'm not messing up the name, but Asa Holmes never intended to pursue the disappearance of fugitive billionaire Russell Pickett, but there's $100,000 reward at stake, and her best and most fearless friend, Daisy, is eager to investigate. So together they navigate the short distance and broad divides that separate them from Pickett's son, Davis. Asa is trying. She is trying to be a good daughter, a good friend, a good student, and maybe even a good detective, while also living with the ever tightening spiral of her own thoughts. This is a story of shattering, unflinching clarity in this novel of love, resilience, and the power of long life friendship. So I don't know, I mean, the synopsis here doesn't really, tell me a whole bunch, but I just get the gut feeling that this is going to be like a really, really good read. So can't wait to read this. If you have read this book, please let me know in the comments whether or not it was a good read. Okay, the last book that we have is Hidden in Plain Sight by Jeffrey Arthur. I hope I'm again not mispronouncing his name, but I probably am. Now, again, brand new book. You cannot convince me that this is not a brand new book. The words are decent size. The print itself is not really dark, and it matters to people like me who can't have see anything. But we're gonna work through that. So this right here is a historical suspense crime thriller. This is book number 2 in the William Warwick series, but can be read as a Warwick. I don't know what I just said, but in the Warwick series, but can be read as a standalone. So we have William Warwick, who has been promoted to detective sergeant, but his promotion means that he, along with the rest of his team, have been reassigned to the drug squad. They are immediately tasked with apprehending Kalia Rashida, a notorious drug dealer who operates his extensive network out of South London. As the investigation progresses, William runs into enemies old and new. Meanwhile, William and his fiancée, Beth, enjoy making preparation for their upcoming wedding, though an unpleasant surprise awaits them at the altar. As William team, as William's team closes the net around a criminal network like none they have ever faced before, he devises a trap that they would never expect, one that is hidden in plain sight. I really look forward to reading this book. To me, as I read the synopsis of that, it plays out as like something you would see like a movie or a TV series. So I look forward to that. Again, you can read it as a standalone, but I think I want to see if maybe my public library has book 1 because I just like to start from book 1, even if it can be read as a standalone. Okay, guys, so that is all the 5 books that I have for um, part 7, I believe I said it was, of the 5 for 10 series. If you have read any of these, please let me know. And now it is time for me to thank you all, as always, for sticking around with me. But it's also time for you guys to press that like, share, and subscribe button if you wouldn't mind. I would greatly appreciate it. Talk with you guys later. Bye.